Hey beauties, welcome. And for those of you who are new, my name is Eden. This is Essentially Elevated. I'm here to teach you all about the techniques I have for makeup, skincare, and everyday life as much as I possibly can. Right now we're doing a nice, simple cut crease look. I use this method very often. And right now I'm doing something a little different with my brows. I normally go in with a black liner because my hair is relatively dark, as you can see. But today I went in with brown, and I'm going to fill in with a darker brown to achieve the look that I want. Now, you can definitely use different mediums when you fill out your brows. For me, today was just the day for me to try different methods, because normally I just stick with a pencil and go over with a brow gel to make sure that my hairs stay in place. But I wanted to fill in the brows just a little differently, so I can show the girlies who may not use pencil and may use powder or a brow powder specifically. You can pretty much do anything, just to show them you can do anything to fill in your brows. And of course, whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other, because the look is symmetrical. We want them to be as closely as sisters as possible. So I'm going in with my tan concealer by LA Colors. Is it LA Colors or LA Girls? I think it might be LA Girls. But I'm going in with tan, taking a little bit of that with a nice big concealer brush and tightening the line and sharpening the brow just to give a nice even look. I'm using small amounts and small strokes just to make sure that I connect everything. And once I'm pleased with that, I go in and use that same concealer as a base coverage to set the stage pretty much for my eyeshadow. So just take as much time as you need. You don't have to get it right the first time. That's the beauty about makeup. Get all of what you need, clean it up as much as you can. And as you can see, I'm having fun. And then we're going to roll right into us setting everything with a transitional color in our crease area. I'm using the Warrior palette by Juvia's Place. I'm using the color Yoded, and I'm taking a fluffy brush, a blending brush, medium dense blending brush, and going right above the crease and in the crease area. Taking that warm shadow or the lightest shade closer to my skin color and concealer color, I'm taking that and going back and forth. And the reason why I'm starting in the inner corner versus the outer corner is because I know I'm going to eventually go back and touch that up and connect that to my nose contour. And because it's closest to the contour shade I know I'm going to use for this particular look, I just start and put the most product towards the inner corner of my eyes. Taking another fluffy brush and going in with a deeper warm tone or a darker shade. I'm taking that brush and putting it more in the crease and blending the two together. So the transition color of what we did first, and now we're going in with a deeper color to give more depth to the look, using the same motion, the windshield wiper motion, which is back and forth, and touching that back up with the first brush that we use, making it a gradient look to where you can't tell where one color stops and the other one starts. And that's basically what we want for blending, and that's what we want for me as a technique throughout makeup, period, where you can't tell where I put one product versus the other product. Yes, I want definition where you can kind of see one more than the other, but I still want them to blend smoothly and evenly together. So I'm going back and forth with the two colors, making sure that I get the product payout that I want and blend them as much as possible. So now I'm finally going in with the deepest shade of that top row, and I'm going in with an angled fluffy brush. I'm going to show you in a minute what that looks like. And then we're going to take that color and go impact it right in the crease area and the outer third. I want a lot of definition to this color, and because we are doing depth as in gradient looks, we want everything to be blended as well and packful where we need it to get the most payout of the color. So for the outer third, I'm going in with the darker shade. In the transition areas, I'm going in with the lightest shade, and the in-between from the gradient of the light to dark, we're going in with that nice warm shade, if that makes sense. Light, medium, dark, and we're going to blend them as much as possible to get the payout that we want, because again, I want it to be where you can't tell where one color starts and the other one stops. I want them to all fluently blend together, and I'm going to pack the end or the outer corner of my eye as much as possible. Following that, I'm taking that same concealer brush, flat synthetic hair concealer brush, and it's a wide brush tip, as you can see, and I'm going to carve out a cut crease. I'm going to get a nice, crisp, even, clean line as much as possible. This technique takes a little practice. That's why I have so many videos like this on my YouTube channel, because I do get a lot of questions on how to do this, and it's just more about practice and being confident on what you're doing. It's nothing really, I'm not going to say completely special. If you're not doing a special effects look or something like that where you could spread it out and give a more smoky, I'm not going to say smoky, it's still a gradient effect of a light color. I'm going to end up doing more videos like that as well. But you just want a nice clean base where you can put the next shadow and have it evenly distributed where you don't have clumps. Right now I'm going in with a fluffy eyeshadow brush that we're packing on a shimmer shade from that same palette, and we're going to use that as the lid color. Now, the reason why I went with a lighter lid color versus a darker lid color, because again, we did a cut crease look, so it's going to be a harsh separation. That's the secret of cut crease. So that's the color I use for my lid, and now I'm going in with a copper tone and blending it in closer to the medium tone that we use to blend the two colors together from when we started with the eyeshadows, just to kind of make sure that everything is warm, nice, neat, blended, and all gradiently transitioning from one to the other. So from side to side, from top to bottom, they all kind of blend in together, if that makes sense. And that's kind of why I do that. I want every color to complement each other of the family of neutrals and browns that we're using today for this specific look. Following that, I'm going in with my favorite combo. I'm going in with the e.l.f. primer, which is a Hydro Grip dupe for Milk. And following that, I'm going in, as you can see, with my foundation, using a dense foundation brush. I'm using a patting motion. I'm using a combo of the Maybelline Fit Me of 322 and 330. Those are my favorite combos. Going in with the concealer that we used earlier, cleaning up anything that we may have left behind untouched, and highlighting my face as well. So taking a beauty blender, making sure that everything is nice, crisp, and clean, blend it out very well. Take your time to do this. I'm speeding it up, as you can see in the video, but highlighting my necessary areas that I feel that I need to highlight, because I want everything to complement each other, and I want a nice clean look for this soft glam look. Following that, I'm going in with my setting powder from Huda Beauty and Blondie. I've been using that for a while. I love that product because everything blends so well. It is a fine grade powder. I use it very often for myself. Of course, I have other powders for my clients because everybody's not the same shade, duh, but you know, just for my makeup beauties that want to start their kit. They have a translucent powder in white. You can use that for every look, but this one, it gives more of a tone. So that's the reason why it just kind of highlight. It's like the banana powder for me. If you remember, if you makeup beauties remember the banana powder that Kim Kardashian made very, very popular in what, 2016, I want to say. Yeah, been in the game for that long, but yeah. So now I'm following that with the contour, going in with the first row of the same palette. And I love that. I love Juvia's Place because I can multitask with one palette. I use it as an eyeshadow. I could go back in and use it as a bronzer or contour to give me definition and lift and shape to the look I want to achieve for my entire face. I love that about that palette. That's why that company for me will forever be top tier. Going in and doing a little touch-up work, make sure everything is nice, even, and crisp. If I want to add more definition to the color, that's why I use different brushes with different angles, because they give different purpose to the look. I can go in and clean up the look without disturbing what we've already done. Following that, I'm using the eyeshadow that we used earlier to transition the color, the transition color, going back that first light shade of that top row of that same palette, going in and using that for my nose contour. Following that, we're going in and dust off the setting powder that we use. Remember, do not disturb the work that you've done. Once it's wet, it has to set. That's why we use powders. But when you are cleaning off the powder or the excess powder and still need to blend your work together, we do not want to go in with a clean brush. So we go in with a compact color closest to our foundation shade, or a translucent powder that's closest to our shade as well. We want everything to set, and we want everything to not be disturbed because we did so much work. If you go in with a clean brush, it disturbs the work. Following that, we are going in with a liner. I'm using my e.l.f. in black, and I'm tracing above, or the shape of my eye, and getting close to the lash line as I possibly can. I use extended wings for my particular looks because I have larger eyes, and of course I'll need my makeup a little bit more dramatic because I don't have hair like everybody else. So I tend to exaggerate my makeup just to make sure that everything complements when you see me, that we have a nice complemented soft glam look. Just because I have short hair doesn't mean I can't pull off the look. And the reason why I'm able to pull off these looks is because I do certain things to complement my entire face. So following that, as you girlies know, we have a lash trend here, and we're going in the middle of the lash after the glue gets tacky, and we're going to use tweezers. Sometimes I use my fingers, mostly I use tweezers. I let the glue get tacky, set it on the lash, above my lashes, on the lower lash line, or close to the lash line as possible without getting glue on it, setting it on the liner that we just put down. And we wanted them to look as natural as possible. So what I'm doing here is, before they completely dry or set, I'm going to adjust them as needed. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other eye. I'm going to take the lash, put the tweezers in the middle of the lash because I have more control that way, above the lashes and close to the lash line without touching the lashes, adjusting them to my liking to complement the shape of my eye to where everything connects. These are strip lashes, so the band has to connect from one end to the other, and adjusting as need be, and then let them set to dry so you don't have to worry about lifting or moving. Sometimes you do have to go back in and tack it down because the glue on the ends of the lash tend to dry faster than the middle of the band. I don't know why, but yeah. And that's what I'm doing right here. I'm going back and reapply because the ends of the lash, that particular lash that day, dried faster than the middle of the band. So we're doing the same method, middle of the lash, tacking it down, making sure that everything is nice and even and complementary to the look. Okay, beauties, this is pretty much the look. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I will catch you babies later. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, like, and share. Bye.